the Batman. Now, before we get into this review, it's been a while, but whatever. Is it interesting to you that this was like way back in the day, this was the project that Ben Affleck was gonna...
No. I don't think he was gonna do this exact same one.
I think it was some of the same writers and some of the same people involved, but like after a while it started to like deteriorate into what it is now.
That's a good something,
like this
something
could
we
have
should
been
look into.
This could have been a bat flick.
Could have been. I think his movie would have been more geared towards this DCU style. Like
right, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. But
this is different. This style is different.
I'll come out and say I like what this movie is now. So we'll start with that. Anyway, go ahead.
This is a warning. This is spoilers territory. If you have not seen the movie, The Batman, I would recommend you not watch this and go see the movie first, then come back and see what our thoughts are. I'm gonna go out and say that this is the most Batman movie of all the Batman.
Okay, I like that you say that. Because that was my thoughts exactly. This is a very Detective Comics, Arkham Arkham Asylum type Batman movie. This is not like a comic book movie by any means. This is not a comic book movie. And this is a crime drama. I love it.
This is inspired by Year One, the comic books.
Year One,
Halloween,
the Long Halloween, and a little bit of Arkham Knight. Now we going into this movie, the Batman, who played by the incredible actor Robert Pattinson that he is. You guys go check not Twilight. He says other movies out. It's time to grow up.
He's in Year 2, Batman. This is like his sophomore year as a Batman.
He's brand new. He's still got combat boots. He doesn't have a lot of the same technology you've seen in different movies and iterations. Yeah, I love it too. Like he's still got like a little bite to him, and he's still learning.
Yeah. No, I love this movie. Now, I do have a couple issues that we will talk about it, I think.
Okay. What do you love about it?
I love the fact that this is very grounded. Even more grounded than the Nolan's Batman, the Dark Knight series, trilogy. I feel like you can believe that this Batman can exist in the year 2022 in our reality. Mm-hmm. That he's not this guy who swing around fighting aliens. This is like he's just a normal guy, besides being super rich. although I would intend this is the most Batman movie because there's the persona that the people talks about that he's really the Batman. Bruce Wayne is the mask, and this movie does that. You don't see him as Bruce Wayne as much as as much as Batman. He was more in his as the Batman.
Yeah, 95% of the movie he is in the cowl.
So I feel like they really put the nail on that one. And so I love the tone. I love the music and the Batman theme. Now who wrote the music?
For this one?
Yeah,
I have no idea.
Anyways, he used a little bit of John Williams' the Darth Vader. Note in there too. If you listen to the beginning and go watch and listen to the Darth Vader, it's a similar note and he uses it. And so it's just fear in the people. That music just comes on, I just get goosebumps. I think the music's incredible.
This movie does play into that whole theme of fear. There's a scene in the very beginning where all the bad guys are kind of looking up at the sky. And they see the bat signal and they're just scared. And they're always looking into the shadows. And then finally, there's the beginning scene where Batman comes out of the shadows. You hear his footsteps long before you see him.
Yeah.
And you just see looks on people's faces that what's gonna come out of there. And you as an audience member, you're also looking at this this Batman. It's kind of scary. Batman, this guy's
this movie
intense.
It's right out of the real world, the Zodiac Killer. In 1968 to 1969, I believe, in San Francisco, there was a serial killer who did send the authority these riddles that he made up himself. And this movie plays off exactly what happened in 1968.
And then Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman
Yes.
will find him.
You have the tone of Seven. It's a very dark movie. I can see this.
This isn't a movie that like a 9-year-old would be like, let's watch the Batman. Like, this is not that kind of Batman movie, and I appreciate that. I'm all for gritty, sad boy
and
superhero movies.
You know that's crazy is I love because he's damaged. You've never seen Bruce Wayne really damaged as a person. He is, and you can tell by the entire movie. He just has this anger inside him, and he doesn't care about anything. And you see that. You don't see that with Christian Bale, not as much, in my opinion. You don't see that.
I don't think you see him.
I don't see it with Michael Keaton. I don't see it with any other Batman movie except for this one that he's so damaged. That anger.
He's so damaged, in fact, that his relationship with Alfred is unlike anything you've seen before. Too. He's almost mad at Alfred just for being there, but Alfred they don't have that relationship yet of like family members until I would argue until like the scene happens where Alfred almost dies.
So much I can go on about this movie, but did you anything you like about it?
I love it. I love the tone. I love the darkness.
The Batmobile.
I love everything. Like that scene with the Batmobile is very authentic. I love the shots in it. I love the way Matt Reeves like sets the tone for the entire movie. There's not one quip or any joke to upset the tone, and I love that they made that choice. There's not a lot I can say that I like about the movie because I like it all. Okay. I do have 2 or 3 points that I didn't like.
Okay, what are those?
That we can clear up. So, you want to talk about that?
Okay, go ahead.
Go for it.
Mine is, it's a little too long. It is, I think, I didn't mind it because I enjoyed it. I ate everything that Matt Reeves put it on the plate. But I think there were a couple of things that could have been cut out. I think certain scenes could have drawn a little shorter. A little shorter than it was. This movie could have been 2 hours and 30 minutes and still would have been a great movie. Mm-hmm. But I think Matt Reeves, now in the industry, 3-hour movie is like a holy grail in the movie industry. So.
And I think that was one of my complaints too. Is a little too long. And the only reasons why it's too long is not because of source material or material itself. It's because everything takes very long time. Like the tone of the movie is fine, but it's very slow. Like Batman walking, Batman looking here, Batman looking there, like characters moving, but it kind of fits. No. Like you can argue that that's normal for this type of movie.
No, I do. I do appreciate that everybody. This is the greatest detectives in the world, and you get the detective part in this movie. But he did make some mistakes in this movie, Batman. So he's not a seasoned pro yet.
No.
And I appreciate that because I don't want all of that in one movie. I'm pretty sure we're gonna get a sequel. I want him to develop that skill because people say, "Oh, he's the greatest detective." You can't go into the movie like if this is year 2, a sophomore year of being Batman. Then he's not that great detective that we see in the comics yet. So I appreciate that part.
And I feel like up until this point he hasn't come up against like a huge big bad yet. Yeah. Like the Riddler is his first supervillain, so to speak.
We did get the ending. We got the Joker.
Ben Kenobi or whatever his name is.
Yeah, he's in the Eternals. He's the one that can control mind.
He's in Dunkirk.
Dunkirk as well. So yeah. Well, we can't have the Joker. We can't have the Batman without the Joker, and I know it's been done. So I want to see what he can do in this one. I don't know. Matt Reeves hasn't come out.
I want Mr. Freeze. Dang it!
He did say that there will be a grounded Mr. Freeze.
Interesting.
In the sequel, and what the grounded mean is that not Arnold Schwarzenegger with the gun, but it's that he's a serial killer who freezes people after he kills them.
Oh, interesting.
This movie is basically like it's a true crime type of movie. It just has Batman in it, and it was pretty cool. Anything else that you didn't like though? I know
there's one thing that I know we talked about how he's damaged and everything. Yeah. He's a little sad boy.
Oh no, you could be like
but
my wife.
I wanted there to be like a different, like a noticeable difference between the character of Batman and the character Bruce Wayne, and maybe even the character Bruce Wayne with Alfred, because there's usually 3 different types of characters within like the Batman Bruce Wayne persona. There's Batman with Alfred, Bruce Wayne with Alfred, Bruce Wayne in the public eye, and then Batman himself. So it was all kind of mixed into one, but again, we said he was a little damaged, so maybe he doesn't have that differentiation yet. Is that a word? Anyway, but yeah, maybe it's not there yet, but I would have liked to see that.
Okay. That's about it for me. Like, there's other nitpicking thing. For me, is the conversation between him and Alfred basically retell what Falcone told him when he went to meet with Falcone. Those scenes, I think they could have done away with one of them, because it's basically they both give the same answer. We don't know who did it.
Right. Also, John Turturro as Carmine Falcone. Great.
No,
I thought it was great.
Okay,
dude.
This is where
no.
Okay, go ahead.
Look at John Turturro's past. Look at all the silly characters he's done. And now look at this. He's got some range. I like it.
That's the issue with him. That's the other thing.
You don't like it?
I feel like he's a great actor. I give you. He's miscast to me in this one. Because I don't see him as this Falcone guy. I see him as the guy from Transformer who's cracking joke and doing all that government stuff.
So you gotta differentiate.
Yeah, no, I get it. But when Christopher Nolan Batman, Falcone, I believe could be Falcone.
I couldn't tell you who that was because I was so forgettable.
He was that great actor. He's been in a lot of other movies. It was good. But I mean, they didn't. It's the same thing here. He wasn't the main vocal point towards the end of the movie because he's the El Rata, or how do you say it? El
Rata Raida?
Yeah, whatever. Spanish kind of. So anyways, that's the other thing that I have.
But also, I want to mention Colin Farrell also. He does a great job. So good.
If I didn't know it was him, I wouldn't even know. Like, I was like, man, this guy's really good.
And I'm excited to see his Penguin character in future projects.
I do too.
If there are more.
I do too. Let me ask you a question. And this has to be let's get that. Where do you rank Robert Pattinson's Batman in all the Batmans? Because I think he was great in this movie.
I would put him near the top. I don't have a place for him yet.
Oh, you don't like doing that.
But he's definitely near the top. Okay. I would argue that he's above Christian Bale for me.
Thank you.
I don't like Christian Bale.
Thank you. Christian Bale was a great
Bruce Wayne,
but not Batman in my opinion.
Yeah.
I have him, Robert Pattinson, and Ben Affleck right now, neck and neck.
I like that.
Right now. But I might put him up because, I don't know, man. He's just so different. It's so different.
I need to see him in more projects.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Where do you rank this movie with all the other Batmans?
Would you also include, like, Batman v Superman and Justice League? Like, put those in there?
All the Batmans. Where would you
All the Batmans?
Where would you rank this?
As a movie, also near the top. Probably number 2. I don't know what's number... Actually,
number 1?
Number 1 is Dark Knight, for sure. Okay. Because of the Joker. Joker makes the Dark Knight.
That's the only... you didn't even talk about the Riddler. What's his name?
Paul Dano.
Yeah, he was great in this, man.
Okay, yes. Let's take it... This is a long review. We've had longer. That's what she said. There is a point in this movie where you're looking at Paul Dano acting and you're like, dude, this guy is menacing and he doesn't have a lick of makeup on him. Doesn't have a mask. He's not he's just screaming. He's just talking. He's scary, man. Paul Dano is great.
Scary. I think he was great. I was talking to my wife when we were watching. I would have loved to see Heath Ledger's Joker with this Batman tone in this type of movie.
I have a hard time imagining that
because he was so comical, like comic-y. What's the word I'm looking for? Like more like not serious, but more like playful Joker.
Right.
But there's a scary side of him. I think Matt Reeves could have made that work, in my opinion. I think I would have loved to see that. To rest in peace, Heath Ledger, man. I wish it didn't happen to him, but man, he would have been great. I think in this movie.
What is your rating for this?
For me, I'd probably do opening night.
I will also give it opening night. I thought about giving it Blu-ray because I don't know. This year I'm trying to like be more generous, less generous with my ratings. But this movie, the more I think about it, the more I talk about it, This is an actual good Batman movie.
Great detective movie, and so go check it out, guys. You will not. It is a little long, I have to admit. Although I didn't have to take a bathroom break this time, so that was pretty good. So.
I didn't. So
go check it out. The Batman. Later, nerds.